Hello everyone, this is a video to help you navigate this Lamaku module and find out and submit your interview assignments, and I'll also give you a bit of a introduction to the interviews themselves. Okay, so for microeconomics, the major paper that you're going to be doing is an interview. It's going to be an interview of both a consumer and a producer. Now, I've just arranged this module to have everything that you need. Let's take a look at the handout first of all. Here we go. And this is a Google Doc. And the interviews, you're going to be doing 2 interviews of individuals who by their actions represent different roles in the marketplace, the consumer and the producer. And you're going to be doing steps. You're going to be constructing a hypothesis, gathering data through the interview, and draw conclusions based on your research. The end result of each interview will be a paper that you'll turn into me. You'll turn in 2 papers, one for the consumer and one for the producer. Now, each paper is going to be worth 100 points. And I'll be looking for appropriateness of questions, grammar, and sentence structure, and reflections upon the interview itself. Turn in all work via, and this should be Lamaku, not Lao Lima assignments. I need to change that in my Google Doc here. Now there's going to be 2 steps. Your first step is going to be, let's call it research design pre-interview. You're going to draft a hypothesis that states the theory you are trying to test. And here's some information about making hypotheses, and then you're going to draft the questions for the interview to test your hypothesis. This is going to be something that you will turn into me on the assigned date listed in Google Calendar or the module. As typically is going to be the 7th week of the course for the consumer interview. I will take a look at this, I will give you feedback and send it back to you. Then you may proceed to the second step. And the second step is the test of the hypothesis. You will use your hypothesis, and I give you examples on how to do model hypotheses. Then you will conduct your interview. And here are some guidelines for doing an interview. I would really like you to do this question answer, please. List both the questions and the answers. So you do your interview. Then your third step is going to be a final written paper. So you're going to have your hypothesis, background information. I really am looking for background information, even in the consumer, even in the drafts. And then the interview itself, list of the questions and answers, and then the hypothesis. Was this hypothesis proven correct or incorrect, and why? Now, the first interview you're going to be doing is for a consumer, and we're going to be focusing on why consumers buy things, and the hypotheses you'll be drawing from will be in our first 4 chapters, in particular chapter 4, which is on supply and demand. These influences, the hypotheses you'll be using are called determinants of demand. There we go, right there. And we'll be doing that, and you'll be doing that in your paper. Of course, we will have covered the hypothesis, the chapter 4 before this. And then here's your interview questions, and then your components to the consumer paper, which is just what I've talked about. Now your second paper is going to be for a producer, and your producer is going to be why they sell things. So find a friend or relative to interview for the role of producer. Focus on an owner in business, or even somebody who works on the business. You're going to be using the same type of parts for the producer as with the consumer. You can ask questions of your producer. You're going to be doing the background question, hypothesis, and such. The final paper. Now, your clear hypothesis for the producer should be based upon, is easiest to base it on your market. Do you have a market niche? This will be something that will become clear to you in chapter 14. And then, who are your competitors? How do you brand your product? What happens to your profits as you raise your price? So this will become much, much clearer to you, especially as we do chapter 14. Okay, let me get out of this. Hopefully this keeps me in Lamaku. Very good. Now let's go into the assignment itself. Turn in your assignment for both consumer and producer in the same way. You will write your paper in Microsoft Word, PDF, maybe even a Google Doc, and upload your paper here. When you upload your paper, then I will be able to see it, and then I will grade it, and I will be using a rubric. Where are you, rubric? There we go. Much like this. A little bit more sophisticated than this, but pretty much like that. Okay, I think I have covered everything. And you're going to be doing it much the same way for both consumer and producer interview. Let's just show you the producer interview. Going to be much the same. Here we go. And you upload your file. Now for the drafts, again, much the same. Here's our draft. Here's your instructions. Submit your draft. You upload it right there. For both the consumer interview draft and the producer interview draft. You just upload your paper right there, and then I will get notified that you have indeed turned it in. Okay, I do believe that's it for the paper, and I will now download this into YouTube and then put it into the appropriate spot for interview papers directions.